Hello friends, welcome to the discussion on General Provident Fund Rules 1960, and in this part we shall discuss Rule 12 to 14 related to advance from Provident Fund. Friends, these rules changes from time to time, so please be updated with the recent development. If you found the video beneficial, you may subscribe to the video and also give a like and share it with your friends. Rule 12 provides for a subscriber shall be sanctioned advance not exceeding 3 months pay or half the amount standing to his credit in the fund, whichever is less. So first is 3 months pay and second is half the amount standing to his credit in the fund. Whichever is less, he will be given advance. And what are the purposes? First is for illness including confinement or a disability including traveling expense of the subscribers, family members and dependents. So for illness of self, family members, dependent, and if he will incur some traveling also for that expenses he can get advance. Second is for higher education including traveling expenses of the subscribers, family members and dependents. If somebody is taking higher education and they are incurring some traveling expenses, for that also they will be given advance from the fund. For education outside India, for academic, technical, professional and vocational courses. For any medical, engineering, technical or specialized course in India, if the course of study is for not less than 3 years, and also for obligatory customary expenses related to betrothal or marriages, funerals or other ceremonies, cost of legal proceedings, legal practitioners related to the subscriber, family members or dependents, purchase of consumer durables such as TV, geyser and computers, etc., expenses of visiting places for pilgrimage or places of eminence of any religion. So for these purposes, normally advance will be given from Provident Fund. Further, the President may also grant advance in special circumstances for any other reason. Any advance shall not normally be granted to any subscriber in excess of the prescribed limit or until repayment of the last installment of any previous advance is actually prepaid. So first is it shall not exceed the limit of which are prescribed, and second is till he has not paid the last advance taken. When an advance is sanctioned before repayment of previous advance, the balance of previous advance shall be added to the second advance and installments for recovery shall be fixed accordingly. So if any second advance is given before repayment of the previous advance, then what will happen? The balance of previous advance will also be included in the second advance, and accordingly the installments of recovery will be fixed. In such case, pay includes dearness pay where admissible. For this rule, appropriate sanctioning authority means as prescribed in the 5th schedule of this rule. A subscriber shall be permitted to take an advance once in every 6 months for educational purposes. So for educational purposes, a subscriber can take twice in a year. Rule 13 provides for recovery of advances. An advance shall be recovered in equal monthly installments, but number of installments shall not be less than 12 unless the subscriber so elects and shall not be more than 24. So in equal monthly installments, advance will be recovered. Normally, it shall not be less than 12 and shall not be more than 24. But it can be less than 12 only with the option of the subscriber. In special cases where the amount of advance exceeds 3 months pay of the subscriber, the number of installments may be more than 24, but not in no case more than 36. So if the advance will be more than 3 months pay of the subscriber, then it may be more than 24 installments, recovery will be made, but it shall not be more than 36. A subscriber may at his option repay more than one installment in a month. Recovery shall commence with the issue of pay for the month following the one in which the advance was drawn. So the month he has taken the advance, from the next month the recovery will be effected from his pay. In the following cases, recovery shall be made only with the consent of the subscriber. First is during receipt of subsistence grants. Second is during leave for 10 days or more in a calendar month which either does not carry a leave salary. During any leave that carries leave salary equal to or less than half pay or half average pay. So in these three cases, recovery of the GPF advance will be made only with the consent of the subscriber. In case of advance on pay, recovery may not be effected on subscriber's return request. So when somebody is taking advance on pay, from that advance recovery will not be effected if subscriber request in return. If an advance granted is subsequently disallowed before full repayment, the balance amount withdrawn shall be repaid by the subscriber or shall be recovered from the emoluments in a lump sum or in monthly installments not exceeding 12. Suppose somebody has been granted advance from his fund, but subsequently it was disallowed, and in the meantime he has repaid some amount and balance is remaining. Then the balance amount is to be repaid in lump sum or in monthly installments, but it should not exceed 12 installments. Before the advance is allowed, the subscriber shall be given opportunity to explain in writing within 15 days of the receipt of communication why the repayment shall not be enforced. So when his advance will be disallowed, he will be given opportunity to explain his reason within 15 days. The explanation received within 15 days shall be referred to the President for decision, and if no explanation is received, recovery will be effected, and recoveries made shall be credited to the subscriber account in fund. So when he will be given a chance to give explanation, and the explanation will be submitted to President for decision, and if any recovery is effected, this amount will be credited to the account of the subscriber itself. Rule 14 provides for wrongful use of advance. If the sanctioning authority has reason to doubt that money drawn as an advance has been utilized for other purposes, he shall communicate the subscriber the reasons for his doubt and require him to explain in writing and within 15 days of the receipt of such communication. So when the sanction authority doubts that the money has been withdrawn for a purpose but it was utilized for other purposes, then the sanction authority shall communicate the subscriber of his doubt, and the subscriber has to reply it within 15 days of receipt of such communication. If the sanction authority is not satisfied with the explanation furnished within the said period, he shall direct the subscriber to repay the amount, order the amount to be recovered by deduction in one sum from the emoluments of the subscriber even he be on leave. So if the explanation sought for by the sanction authority is not received, or if it is received is not satisfied, then the sanction authority will direct the subscriber to repay the amount, or he will order to recover the amount from his pay in one lump sum. If the total amount to be repaid be more than half the subscriber emoluments, recovery shall be made in monthly installments. So when the repaid amount will be more than half of the subscriber's emoluments or pay, then the recovery shall be made in monthly installments. So let us discuss some questions. First question is, for illness or educational purposes, what is the limit of advance from General Provident Fund? Option A, not exceeding 3 months pay. Option B, half the amount standing to his credit in the fund. Option C, 75% of the amount standing at his credit. Option D, whichever is less on A and B. And the answer is D, whichever is less on A and B. While applying advance for illness or educational purposes, in which of the cases expenses on travel will be a factor? Option A, for illness or a disability of the subscribers, family members and dependents. Option B, for higher education of the subscribers, family members and dependents. Option C, both A and B. And the answer is
Both A and B.
Which of the following is not a purpose for which advance from GPF shall be applied? Option A, purchase of consumer durables such as TV and computers, etc. Option B, for providing assistance to an orphanage. Option C, expenses for visiting places for pilgrimage or places of eminence of any religion. Option D, cost of legal proceedings, legal practitioner related to the subscriber, family members or dependents. The answer is B. For providing assistance to an orphanage, advance cannot be taken. For purposes of General Provident Fund, pay includes which of the following? Dearness allowances, house rent allowances, city compensatory allowances, or dearness pay. The answer is dearness pay. What is the normal number of monthly installment for recovery of GPF advance? Option A, not less than 10 and not more than 20. Option B, not less than 12 and not more than 24. Option C, not less than 10 and not more than 24. And option D, no such limit. The answer will be not less than 12 and not more than 24. Recovery of GPF advance from the pay shall commence from which of the following months? Option A, from the month in which the advance was drawn. Option B, from the month following in which the advance was drawn. Option C, from the months as opted by the subscriber. Option D, any of the above as per circumstances. And the answer is B, from the month following in which the advance was drawn. In which of the cases recovery shall not be made on written request of the subscriber? Option A, subsistence grant, leave salary equal to or less than half pay, advance on pay, or none of these. The answer is advance on pay. If an advance granted is subsequently disallowed before full repayment, the balance amount withdrawn shall be repaid by the subscriber or shall be recovered from the emoluments in how many installments? Option A, in lump sum. Option B, in monthly installments not exceeding 12. Option C, in monthly installments not exceeding 20. Option D, either A or B. And it is either A or B. Which of the following is not correct on wrongful use of advances? Option A, the subscriber shall be communicated to explain in writing within 50 days of the receipt of such communication. Option B, if the sanctioning authority is not satisfied with the explanation, it shall direct the subscriber to repay the amount in one lump from the emoluments of the subscriber even if he is on leave. Option C, if the total amount to be repaid be more than half the subscriber's emoluments, recovery shall be made in monthly installments. Option D, none of these. The question is which of the following four options is not correct? The answer is A is not correct because the reply will be given within 15 days, not 50 days. In which cases the number of installments may be more than 24, but in no case more than 36 number of installments. Option A, where the amount of advance exceeds 6 months pay. Option B, where the amount of advance exceeds 3 months pay. Option C, where the subscriber request in writing. Option D, either B or C. And the answer is where the amount of advance exceeds 3 months pay. Thanks. If you found the video beneficial, please give a like and subscribe to RK Didactics.